Peter Hartzell, what's up, my man?
What's up, brother?
Dude, it's been a long time getting to this point. You and I, we've been working on this bridge builder project for a while now, and to have you on as a partner, I'm pretty excited. How you doing today?
Oh my gosh, man, I'm so honored to be on this. This is like something we've tried to record a couple of times, and circumstances and all that. I'm just excited that we're finally here and recording. We were talking earlier about like the excitement of like launching something new, and you get so much momentum building up, and then when you actually release something new to the world, that's like, I love that. I love that part. And I think we're probably going to talk about that a little bit today, but yeah, excited.
Absolutely, man. You mentioned like releasing something new, like our heart, goal, purpose, the reason for this bridge builder network initiative of partners is to actually do that, is to give something back to the world, to host a network of professionals, right, who have lived through and who realize a measure of success, and they have resources or experience or something in that vein to share and to give to somebody else. Just kind of want to always make sure that we communicate why we are doing this, right? We got plenty of things to do, man. You got a family, you got music, you got your business, you got all kind of things that we could be doing. Right. And so, you know, to invest energy and effort in this, man, it's phenomenal, dude. And we believe in it, right?
Oh my gosh, totally. I think that anytime you're in business for yourself, if you own your own business or you got an idea for your startup or you're, networked with other people, there's always a need for help. There's always need for, like you say this all the time, and I love this. Nobody's an island. Nobody's an island in of themselves, and nobody can achieve any level of success, however we define success, on their own, truly on their own. I mean, there's a lot of people that have done some great things that it seems like they did it on their own, but there's teams of people, influences and experiences that shaped who they are. So nobody's ever gotten to any measure of success by themselves. And I think Bridge Builders is a fantastic, I guess you could consider it like a tool or a resource to help empower, equip, and support, promote, and really just like give a good shot in the arm to someone that's got a good idea. They just don't have people around them that can help them launch or get off the ground. So I'm all in, man.
That's absolutely it, man. That's why you are a partner and you're here with us today. So let's get into the specifics of you as a partner, man. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your career, your industry, and how it is that you got to where you are now.
So I was born and raised in Western Montana, and after high school, I went to the University of Montana with a focus in business administration, a minor or an emphasis in marketing, a minor in media arts. And then I ended up going to audio production school, got my certification as an audio engineer. I now live in Nashville. So I had come to Nashville back then to intern and kind of cut my teeth in the music industry. And my motivation in going to school for business administration with marketing, for one, that's what my dad did. He went to University of Montana for business administration, and he was always starting businesses and doing things in business. And I always aspired to that. I always thought it would be amazing to work for myself one day, own my own company, be my own boss. And after going through school, I realized that I probably needed to actually get a lot of experience. There's a lot of stuff you learn on paper, but until you actually do it, you don't know what you don't know, right? So until you actually start trying things. And so I actually ended up working for my dad for about 8 years, right after my wife and I got married. And man, I learned a lot in working for him and kind of helping him develop a couple of different internet marketing opportunities, and supporting his local. He had a records management company, so supporting him locally and working with customer service and working face to face with customers. I learned a kind of a multifaceted approach to marketing, where in the digital age, it seems like it's all about the content or the value that you're putting out there. But a lot of times we tend to forget that there are people, real people attached to that, to the other side of the screen. And so if you're creating content or creating value content in a vacuum, you forget that we're talking to real people and that we're actually trying to share something that hopefully will make their life better, easier, more enjoyable. Rather than just creating content to promote a product to sell more widgets, right? We want to sell more because what we are offering is beneficial. So I think working for my dad and learning those things in the real world prepared me for kind of being my own boss, being an entrepreneur and starting my own thing. I've always got ideas. I'm always starting, or my wife has always kind of joked, I'm always starting something new. It really wasn't until we moved to Nashville. I actually got into the freight brokering world for a while, and I learned a lot about contracts, and customer service is a big part of that, negotiating, things like that. So once we moved to Nashville, and I remember my wife one day came up into my office and she said, you're good at this, but this is not what you're really passionate about. And I think you probably would be spending your time better if you're actually doing what you were passionate about and what you were just naturally good at. So that led into me starting my company, Treehouse Media. And to be honest with you, in the beginning, I didn't really believe in my skills or my abilities very much. So I led with web design, which is not something I've ever been super passionate about. It's just something I felt like I had. It was the lowest hanging fruit. I had a little experience doing it. And so I started doing that, thinking if I can get some clients in the door building websites, then maybe that would lead into more opportunity helping with branding and marketing and content creation and strategy and all of that. And it sort of did. It kind of worked out that way. What I learned was, because I was telling people I did websites, I got a lot of website clients, and I didn't want website clients. I wanted to really dig in with people that had a mission, a vision to build something, and they just needed help doing it. So I quickly had to pivot and began focusing more of my energy on helping people develop video content specifically, because video is very powerful. I mean, we're on video right now for a reason.
Right.
Video is so great. I also really got into podcasting because I've always loved, when I worked for my dad, I would drive a delivery truck and I would listen to talk radio. And I fell in love with the format, the talk radio format. And, it's a longer format way for someone to share their story, to get someone excited and interested in what it is that they have going on, and to give people an opportunity to kind of buy in. You can only do so much in a 30-second video clip, but in a longer format podcast, you can share a bigger vision, and
right.
You can share a lot more. So podcasting and video content kind of became my focus, which kind of led to some pretty cool opportunities. I helped Sadie Robertson do a podcast, or get her podcast off the ground, and that led to some other podcasts and connecting with other people around the Nashville area, which really gave me it kind of cut my groove for me. I kind of could see where my trajectory or my path was heading. And then really in the last the last couple of years, focusing a lot on helping people in the real estate markets, mortgage, title, creating content for their thing, and help, brand awareness and all that. When COVID hit early 2020, a lot of my real estate clients in Nashville, the real estate market has been hot in Nashville for a while. It did not slow down, as
right.
Did not slow down. And so a lot of my real estate clients didn't feel like they needed to continue paying for promotion because they had more work than they could handle. So that caused me to kind of pull back a little bit more again and reevaluate. Am I too niched? Am I too focused on one specific industry or one specific thing? And I learned along the way that if you're not really, really, really hyper niched and you just kind of throw the fleece out and say, I can do all these things, you'll get a lot of clients, but you won't necessarily get the kinds of clients that you really can partner with. You can create and help, but you can't really, you're not really partnered or linked arms with them to develop and build something long-term. Mm. So that, and of course, this was kind of around the time that you and I had started talking about what you're doing, and the ideas around the bridge builder thing kind of started. And I remember one day I told my wife, I really want to focus my time and energy in helping like 4 to 6 really focused clients build something important, valuable, and long-term that has longevity. And to be frank with you, something that has some eternal value. I am a Christian. Obviously, I believe that the efforts that I put in on a daily basis are not just to provide a living for my family, although that's what it does. But I really do believe that I can make an impact in the lives of my clients and the people that they touch through the verbiage that we use, the way that we communicate, the way that we serve our audience. And so I've really taken a holistic approach to marketing and branding, where it's not just about making content for content's sake, but it's really about answering those deep questions of why am I doing this? What's the end goal? And what's the best way to go about doing that to really support and provide good long-term and eternal value to the audience. So that's kind of where I'm at today.
Man, that is phenomenal. You've articulated tremendous experience, like you're exploring. And I think that's going to be a big part of a connecting factor with much of our Bridge Builder network, much of the audience who will be watching this video, is that, hey, I've journeyed through this stuff. I have explored, a lot of times people want the one-stop shop, or this is the end-all be-all, kind of the short step path to the success that I want, right? And our goal is to help people get over the bridge of life where they are to where they're trying to go. And sometimes it's a journey like that, And so with your experience and like kind of carving into some of the niche factors, what would be the job title? What would be a job title for Peter Hartzell, for Treehouse Media? What would be the thing? Like, I am a blank.
That's a great question. That is sort of an evolving title. That's something I've kind of reevaluated. Like I said, I've reevaluated a few times along the last probably 3 or 4 years. Originally, I was kind of calling myself a content marketer. That term, content marketing, a lot of times can take on a different meaning depending on how you perceive it. So for some people, content marketing is blog posts and, video podcasts. There's kind of a lot of different pieces of content that you take that holistic approach. So I would say content marketer or content marketing is really how I can express my job title on a higher level. But really when I really get down and dirty to what I'm most passionate about and where I feel like my value is the strongest would be in brand development and brand strategy. I know we had Shamika McCoy, who's amazing. She said she takes this integrated approach. I love the way she says that, because for what she does, that is very true. She does take this integrated approach. It is kind of a holistic approach. I kind of do the same thing, but in a different way. And so with Shamika being a partner in this, and her and I having some overlap, some really good overlap, but what she does and what I do are just a little different. So we really do complement each other in that way. So I would say brand strategist, content marketer are kind of the two terms that I kind of toss around.
I like it, man. I love the creativity, of like this generation with just the opportunity that exists working and how you create income. And that's just one of the things so many people they feel stuck by their earning potential or where they are financially. And in our capitalist society, you can do it. You can come up with whatever it is. And so kudos to you on the creativity.
Yeah.
So regarding your industry, tell us about some of the barriers or the hurdles to being successful in the industry, and how have you navigated those hurdles or barriers?
Man, there is a lot of noise. That is probably the biggest hurdle. There is so much noise out there. There is so much content, and it is, it's bombarding us on a daily basis. That has been a big struggle for me, kind of back to what I was talking about earlier with developing something that not just has short-term value, but does have eternal value. Creating content for content's sake, just putting stuff out for the sake of just being being visible. That is a big hurdle because you can get sucked into the vortex of doing that over and over and over, and you can get frustrated because you feel like people aren't really hearing you. And so I would say the way that I've overcome that hurdle would be in being more intentional about the planning phase on the front end. What is it that we're trying to communicate? I spent probably about a month or two really digging through some of Donald Miller's material, the story brand stuff. I actually toyed with the idea of becoming a story brand coach because I really identified with his method. It's not anything new what he does, but the package that he has developed really spoke to me. It really made a lot of sense of the way my brain works. I think in terms of stories, I really do think that the story is super, super powerful, not just the short-term blurb that you hear, but these little pieces of content make up a whole story, and they communicate intention, they communicate purpose, drive, vision. And so I try to take a really intentional approach on the front end of what is it that we're trying to communicate? What's the best way to communicate that? How can we do that in a way that's going to be true to you? That we're not trying to change your style. We're actually really leaning into your style and letting your style kind of come through. So then when we get to the point of actually creating content and putting stuff out into the world, it's not noise. It's not content for content's sake. That can be pretty tricky to do. And it really takes a lot of hard work on the front end below the surface before you actually get out in front of the public. So.
Yeah, you and I have spoke about that. You've mentioned that to me, and we've done some of the homework. And I do want to commend you because the approach to identifying what the goal is, the front end work, the guide, the goal, and how the people all fit together. You've done a phenomenal job of understanding that process and then bringing that into the work that you do. So yeah, no, I definitely connect with you on that.
Yeah.
So tell me this. So you in the grind, right? You in here with us on the Bridge Builder. You're a partner. You're all in, and decide to become a partner, offering your knowledge. So tell me, why do you think that there is need for another mentoring type network, which is in a sense what this is? There's a lot of different facets, the way that we would define this, but this type of network, why would you value partnering with this one?
Several of my clients are kind of doing the same sort of thing. I was just telling my wife this last night. I said, it's kind of cool to see. I didn't do this on purpose. When I kind of intended about a year or so ago that I wanted to set an intention to have 4 to 6 really intentional clients that were building something long-term. It was really because, I believe in developing something that does have some eternal value. And so doing one-off projects is great. And a lot of times those can pay the bills, or they could pay for a vacation here or there. But the longer term projects, the things that actually are providing support and help, it just feeds my soul. And so I just kind of happen to have 3 or 4 clients right now that are all doing this kind of thing, providing opportunity to help other people, whether it's in business or in your personal life, in your spiritual life. And one of the things that really excites me about what you're doing with Bridge Builders is that it's not just an idea that you came up with, but it's something that your father and your grandfather had also done, specifically focusing on helping guys coming out of prison, minimizing recidivism, and giving people an opportunity to apply themselves to turn over a new page in their life and actually be successful at something that they're passionate about, to realize that you don't have to stay stuck in your past or previous cycle or rhythm of life, but that you actually do have opportunity to make something of yourself and to provide something of value to somebody else. And, I found in my life that when I'm depressed or bummed out or where I feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels, if I get out of myself and go help somebody, I tend to get out of that funk pretty darn quick.
Yeah,
I get out of that funk really quick. And there is a principle about being selfless, about serving others. And so when you serve other people, you start to realize this isn't all about me. This really isn't all about me. And so I believe that as we support and help others, whether it's someone coming out of prison or it could just be someone out of high school that's like, you know what, I got an idea and I don't know what to do. I need a mentor. I need someone. Like, I had a lot of people along the way that gave me advice and help. And even when I was starting Treehouse Media, I had a lot of people kind of come out of the woodwork to just, give me advice, give me some direction. And sometimes it was tough love. Sometimes it was exactly what I needed to hear. But man, like, again, we're not islands. Like, we need each other. And so I just really believe that this network, it's not just a mentoring network in the sense that you pay me money and I'll give you the answer to all of your problems. We're offering this resource to people, not because of the monetary side of things, but because we know that it's going to help people. And in the long run, generally those things tend to circle back around. And of course, I'm not doing this for my own personal gain, but the cool part about it is that the more people that we're able to help, then on the back end of it, when they're successful, they can look to this and say, I had help here and now I can help somebody else. And it's kind of that pay it forward idea. So I really, really like that.
Man, that is absolutely it, is that just paying it forward, extending it along the line, showing people there's other opportunity. And we've not all done it by ourselves. Nobody has. Anybody who has amassed or realized significant amount of success or anything in any lane, there have been people along the way that kind of help them. And so that really is our goal as people connect with this network, is that, whatever industry you're in, whether it's a content marketer or brand strategist or federal contracting, whatever your industry is, there's somebody in this network that can help you get to the next step. And what that looks like, it may be the tough love, it may be a job opportunity, it may be some coaching, it may be some, who knows, but whatever it is, we want to provide that resource to help you get from where you are to where you're trying to go. So, man, kudos on that, man. So what are some of the, in a little bit, tangible and intangible things that it takes for your industry or any industry to move from surviving to thriving? Not just doing a thing, but actually thriving in it. So tangible or intangible, what are some of the nuggets that you would share with the audience?
I think being authentic at every point in the process is so key. Especially like we're in Nashville, which is Music City. We are surrounded by, again, in this city, we're surrounded by noise. And there's always something new happening. There's always a show going on. There's always new albums being released. There's always new movies or videos or whatever. There's always
a conference or workshop or this speaker, this person. Yeah.
100%. And it can be really easy to start to craft a persona around yourself. And maybe it can start out a lot of times in a real genuine place of aspiration. Like, I have an aspirational identity. I have something that I aspire to. But my personality and my identity is not wrapped up in my aspirational identity. It's just, I know what's inside of me. And it's really a journey of figuring out how do I go along my journey and become the thing that I've aspired to, while staying true to who I am, and not forgetting along the way that, I'm a real person. Like I said in the beginning, the people that I'm helping out, they're real people too. The content that I'm creating to speak to the general population, to a specific audience, those are real people as well. And we can sniff out phony real quick, Yeah. And there's been some times where I've encountered someone that had a really good method or model or product, but they were going about it in a kind of a disingenuous sort of way, or they weren't being themselves. And you can kind of pick up on that. And regardless of how beneficial or how positive the product that they're providing is, if they're not genuine, it's hard to really buy in. It really is hard to buy into that. So I would say, like, that's a tangible and an intangible. You can observe it and you can also perceive it. And so I would say, again, being really intentional on the front end of knowing what it is that you're setting out to accomplish. Why do you want to accomplish that thing? And who is it that you're desiring to help along the way? And if you can define those things in the beginning and then ask yourself those questions about everything that you do along the way, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be disingenuous. You know what I mean? Like, it's you're staying true to your identity because you're kind of putting your intentions through that filter, through that litmus test of intention. And you'll get, there will be times we are always growing and changing and learning. So it doesn't mean we're going to do this perfectly. And I still have, I'm nowhere near arriving, and I don't ever want to arrive. I want to always be learning and growing and adapting. But I also want to make sure that I know what it is that I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and who it is that I'm trying to serve in the process. If I can define those things, it's going to be really hard for me to fake my way into something or present a false image of who I am and what it is I'm trying to do.
Bro, that is worth its weight in gold right there. For people to, know your identity, know what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, and who you are, relative to where you're going and where you are now, and then how to present those things, how to communicate that individual, that person, that stuff, that product, whatever it is, how to present that in a way that's authentic. Because you're right. We can smell phony. We can smell when we're being sold. We know when people are just performing or putting on or trying to entertain or different things like that. And nobody's not interested in the performance. Nobody wants to be sold, right? Like, we are bombarded with everything. We stay in our phones and we're looking at all the ads, but we do not like to be sold. And so if you can find a way to be authentic with whatever it is that you're doing and your communication and everything, then that just pushes you into more success, whatever your industry is, whether you are, especially in content marketing and brand strategy. You want to be genuine and pure about how you are communicating with people. But whatever industry you're in, just in life, to walk in that purity, man, is awesome, man. That's good sharing, dude.
100%. Yeah, man. And I love that you have that same heart. And we've talked about, as part of the reason we're working together and that I'm partnered with you, because I know that's very much in your heart. And for those of you listening, this dude is the real deal. Chauncey is the real deal, and he knows He knows what it is that he's trying to do and who it is he's trying to serve and how he's going to go about doing it. And so this is something that you want to be a part of.
Man, that's awesome. Thanks for the love, Peter. Thanks for the partnership with this network, with doing the work, and then just kind of in life, man, running together. Life is less about what we do and more about who we are and who we become, and then the experience that we have. And so we want to provide an opportunity for people to have the best experience possible. And that's why whatever your passions are, this Bridge Builders Network wants to serve whatever your desires or whatever your interests are. And there's a path forward, and we want to partner with you in doing it. Any last words before we roll out?
I just, again, I want to encourage people that, if you know someone that needs help, you don't need something like Bridge Builders to be a help to reach out. Like if you have a skill set, or you see somebody that needs whatever it is that you offer, and you see yourself in that person, you see, maybe like 10 years ago, I know where I was 10 years ago, and I've seen people that are at that point now. And I want to reach back and kind of help them out. So you don't need something like this to do it, but this platform, this Bridge Builders platform, is a really good thing to plug into because it gives you tools, it gives you resource, it gives you structure, accountability, and it gives you a way to really be more effective, to leverage your energy and efforts. Where you could do it on your own, it's better when we're doing it together. I love the phrase, we're building bridges and we're changing lives.
Changing lives. That's it, man. Peter, thanks for your time, bro. You have a good one, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
All right, later.